More than a year after ABC 10 News first broke the story, a homicide investigation at a Southern California military base takes a major turn. The charges just announced.
After narrowly avoiding a harsh setback in our reopening efforts, San Diego looks at how the state could improve its system for grading the county's effort in fighting COVID.
Plus, the two candidates for San Diego mayor square off in a town hall moderated by ABC 10 News. How they say they'll tackle the biggest issues from the pandemic to affordable housing.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
Tonight, a major development in a story ABC 10 News first broke more than a year ago. A military service member has just been charged in connection with the shooting death of a Navy medic on a Southern California military base. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our Team 10 investigative reporter Jennifer Kastner first broke this story last year after learning his sudden death was being investigated as a homicide, not suicide like the family was told. She joins us live with the very latest developments. Jen.
Steve, that's right. This is a huge update on a story that we've been working on for more than a year. The family is understandably very emotional. They said they were led to believe their son's death was a suicide, but tonight the Marines are confirming that an individual has been charged in connection to the death investigation of 30-year-old Navy Corpsman HM3 Michael Vincent de Leon, who died last summer on the 29 Palms military base, which is a few hours northeast of here. The Marines say the individual charged is facing 2 counts related to dereliction of duty resulting in death, and other individuals are also being investigated. The family of the deceased corpsman, which is a type of medic, first contacted ABC 10 News for help after claiming the military stonewalled them from getting answers about their son's death. Family said NCIS, or Naval Criminal Investigative Service, would only say there was a shooting on base at a housing unit with other corpsmen present and there was a firearm. Well, 10 News then learned from a source with close military ties that NCIS confirmed the death was being investigated as a homicide. NCIS said this week the investigation is still open. They won't give any details. The Marines are not giving out the names or the ranks or of those individuals who may have been involved. A spokesperson told us on Wednesday a hearing is not yet scheduled. Reporting live tonight, Jennifer Kastner, ABC 10 News.
Jen, thank you. And this just in. Louisville police say an officer has been shot as protests grow over the lack of charges in police killing of BREONNA Taylor. Cities across the country, including here in San Diego, are seeing rallies tonight, marches and protests. Taylor was shot and killed by Louisville, Kentucky police while she was in bed back in March after her boyfriend opened fire on officers who were serving a no-knock warrant. Since then, protesters have not rested in their calls to arrest those officers. Today, Kentucky's Attorney General announced that there would be charges, but none that are directly tied to Taylor's death. Instead, one of the officers, Brett Hankinson, is being charged because the bullets he fired, they went through the walls into neighboring apartments.
Based on the evidence, there's nothing conclusive to say that Detective Hankinson's, any of his bullets hit Miss Taylor.
Kentucky's Attorney General says the officers knocked and identified themselves. Taylor's boyfriend disputes that claim, saying there was no announcement.
San Diego County barely missed having to move back into the purple tier Tuesday, and now county health officials are pleading with members of the public to do their part to avoid any setbacks. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala explains what the county is also asking from the state.
San Diego County was able to avoid falling back into the purple tier this week, staying in the red for now. County leaders and health officials hope members of the public will continue to do their part to keep us there. If our case rate went over 7 cases per 100,000 residents, we would have dipped back into the purple tier, which has the most restrictions for businesses. The state's color-coded tier system has been difficult for many business owners to deal with.
We are working with the state to share our concerns and thoughts about the metrics that they are using to place our county in the different tiers.
Dr. Wilma Wooten, the county's public health officer, has been pushing for the state to improve its metric system.
If counties are maintaining that hospitalization and hospital capacity to somehow get credit for that, and also to get credit for contact tracing.
She also says the county should get credit for providing access to COVID-19 testing in the most vulnerable populations hit the hardest. On Tuesday, the Board of Supervisors passed a motion 4-1 to send a letter to the state backing Dr. Wooten's effort in revising the reopening criteria. For now, she continues to urge the public to wear a facial covering, wash their hands, avoid large gatherings, and stay home when sick, especially as the flu season is quickly approaching.
We do not have a vaccine for COVID-19, but we do have a vaccine for the flu. Getting the flu vaccine is the most important step in protecting against the flu.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
The county also announced one change in the tier system. Nail salons are no longer at risk of shutting down indoor operations, even if we do fall back into the purple tier. They join hair salons, barbershops, and retailers. Our daily positivity rate was low enough to hold our 14-day rolling average flat. Today, it is again hovering just above 3.5%. 278 new cases were reported today. There were 2 new deaths for a total of 767.
2 of San Diego's biggest restaurant groups are sounding the alarm over state coronavirus regulations. The owners of the Cohen and Brigantine restaurants say that capacity limits aren't sustainable. The Cohen group says that employment is now down about 40% to about 1,200 workers.
We should be concentrating on positive test percentages, hospital capacity, ICU and PPE availability.
The Brigantine restaurant says its employment has also dropped about 20% to about 1,000 workers. The 25% cap will last at least another 3 weeks before the county would be eligible for the next lower tier, which would increase the cap to about 50%. The cap stays the same even under the state's least restrictive tier. Your voice, your vote. There are only a few weeks left until the November election. This year, San Diegans will choose a new mayor. Today, both candidates, Todd Gloria and Barbara Bree, joined our ABC 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena for a town hall style virtual debate focused on issues important to local seniors.
The coronavirus and its impact was one of the biggest concerns voiced by local seniors, some of whom had the opportunity to ask their questions directly to the candidates during the ABC 10 News Mayoral Town Hall Wednesday. Also put on with the help of community partners, Meals on Wheels, and Oasis San Diego.
In June, my campaign released our roadmap to recovery. I saw the urgency of doing it more quickly, and ours did come out a few months ago.
This is difficult stuff, and you can't just whip something out. What you should do is listen to people. I think that's what politicians should be doing at a time as difficult as this.
Affordable housing was another issue top of mind for local seniors, asking the candidates how they would create more affordable housing.
I have been consistent. Unfortunately, my opponent has not been in her willingness to extend eviction moratoriums. It is also reflected in the lack of affordable housing production in her council district.
I do not believe that eliminating single-family zoning, which my opponent supports, is the way to do it. That simply will lead to gentrification, as speculators will go first to neighborhoods where housing is less expensive.
And how they would address the issue of homelessness in San Diego.
That means treating each person as an individual and having a seamless system where there's one number you can call to get the help you need.
You have to have strong mayoral leadership. You have to have data and transparency with providers.
The candidates also talked about their first steps to answer calls for police reform.
I'm focused on passing Measure B on the ballot, which will establish an independent police review commission. This is very important in creating trust between residents and law enforcement.
I think that is an important measure. Again, I ask you to vote for it, and I say to you that if I'm your next mayor, I commit to making sure that we fund it and implement it fully and faithfully so that we can start the process of becoming national leaders when it comes to policing in the 21st century.
Lindsay Pena, ABC 10 News.
And according to the latest ABC 10 News Union Tribune poll, Barbara Bree leads Todd Gloria 37% to 34%, with 29% of people still undecided. You can watch the entire mayoral town hall debate on our website, abc10news.com, and our 10 News digital platforms.
Other energy companies will get their chance to compete against SDG&E to fulfill the city's future utility needs. SDG&E's current 50-year deal with the city of San Diego ends in January. Today, Mayor Kevin Faulconer officially opened bidding on San Diego's gas and electric franchises. He says the proposed franchise terms will cut a surcharge from 2002 that will save ratepayers $110 million. He says the terms also include a performance audit of the utility every 2 years. Our media partners at KPBS spoke with the Climate Action Campaign, which is concerned about accountability.
The poison pill in this agreement is the removal of the right to purchase clause. That was our biggest accountability tool, and it's gone now.
The city is asking a utility to bid a minimum of $80 million. Prospective bidders have until October 23rd at 5 p.m. to submit their bids.
Our ABC 10 News cameras captured law enforcement coming in and out of a North Park spa this afternoon. The U.S. Attorney and San Diego District Attorney said they issued search warrants at Joy Spa and several other locations across the county today. They did not offer any more details about why. We will follow up with the DA's office as the investigation continues to get more information.